Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I have invited Mohd Saquib Alam sir, who has secured All India rank 279 in UPSC 2022. So to start with the video, let sir introduce himself, his background and his journey from bachelor's to job life at Mahindra, then taking a break for preparation, then cracking All India rank 279.
Okay, so that's actually a very long question in single run, but
Okay.
still I will try to do justice to the question. So I'm Mohd Saquib Alam. I hail from Lucknow, and I have a family with the parents and one elder brother. My early education till intermediate was done in Lucknow itself. Then later I joined Jamia Millia Islamia, Delhi, in 2010 for pursuing BTech in mechanical engineering. 2010 to 14, I was pursuing mechanical engineering. In 2014, I got campus placed in Mahindra & Mahindra, and that was product development, basically research and development wing. And I was working in Pune. I was also like designing vehicles. You might have seen those Ajay Devgn ads. I was a part of that team as well. So the projects were also good. I got quick promotion. Like I was promoted from assistant manager to deputy manager. There I was also handling teams. And after that, like in 2018, I left my job for UPSC preparation. And 2018 to 2022, it was my preparation period where I prepared, struggled, and then in 2022, the result came on 30th of May and I got selected and I scored 279 and I have been allocated Indian Defence Estate Services.
Yes, sir. Sir, you were doing a very good job. You were in the role of manager in Mahindra company. What made you to leave the job and start UPSC preparation? I think you may be getting very good in terms of financial, very good salary and all. So what made you to choose UPSC services, sir?
Right, it's a great question. The financial thing was good. Mahindra is one of the best automobile companies in India, and the package was accordingly. There is not one reason, but 2 or 3 reasons for it. When I was in Mahindra, like initially when I joined Mahindra and when I was just a budding student, just came out of college, so I was not at all looking for a service in UPSC. And like every mechanical engineer, I just wanted to go to Germany and do MS from USA or some other good like Michigan, etc., some good universities, and then work some time there, pursue my studies, work, and then settle in Germany. That was the plan, and I worked on that also. So like there is a GRE exam for getting higher education for doing MS, and I scored 320 out of 340 in that exam also, and I must have got University of Michigan.
Yes.
But during this period of time, it was like everybody said in my family and extended family that if anybody can crack UPSC in our family, it is Saquib. But I was not serious about it. One day I was talking to my mother and she told me that you were not able to become doctor. So like you can become a civil servant, right?
Yes.
So that was a very casual talk, but I started to take it seriously.
Serious.
The first 2 attempts of UPSC, I gave very casually without studying. But eventually I got more and more serious about it. And why is that? There are 2 or 3 reasons. Mahindra was paying well. Mahindra is a very good company for gaining experience. And the profile of work was also very good. And I was very passionate about making vehicles also. And there in Mahindra, I was actually making vehicles. But there were few things like in Mahindra, like I was getting good projects. And eventually I started to realize that my potential is somewhat meant for something like better. Like I can do more. Secondly, there was lesser public impact, and I have been of that kind who wants to impact public, do some public service. And what is a better platform than UPSC to give that feeling and
Exactly.
where you are like heading all the departments and you are doing actual work which is like impacting millions of people. So that was the motivation. And also like I was working there like for quite long hours, and I just thought that I'm working this for a company, these long hours for a company, and suppose if I started to invest this time for myself, then maybe I can do some wonder.
Yes,
So
sir.
with
Yes.
this thought and this motivation, I started pursuing UPSC, such that I became so intense, like so much mad about it, that I took this decision of leaving my job.
Yes, sir. Sir, you were in technical background actually when you work in Mahindra and Mahindra.
Yeah.
So, how did you actually start? Because UPSC civil services involve different subjects. You need to study economy, you need to study polity, and you need to
Hmm.
study many other subjects and all. So, how did you actually start, and how did you start to explore?
Right. So UPSC was not the first step which I took. In order to crack UPSC, you have to be an avid reader. And I have
Okay.
this habit, like the things which I don't know, I tend to know. I strive to know them more, right? So while I was in like Mahindra, I had a wonderful room partner, and he used
Okay.
to be a very avid reader. So I got this habit of reading from him, actually. So I
Okay.
started reading fiction novels, Chetan Bhagat, these
Yeah. Yeah.
things, then like Theodore Boone, all these things. But fiction did not intrigue me that much. So I'm not much of a fiction guy. So I switched
Okay.
from non-fiction. Being an engineer, we are not very good with economics, for example. That is the
Yes.
question which
Yes.
you are asking, actually,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
yeah, so being an engineer, like, we do not know economics, we do not know much history. So I took it as a challenge that I was a good engineer, but if somebody asks some economical question or something like that, then I was blank. So
Yes.
I did not want to be blank. So I started reading about it. The first book I even remember, it was like Fundamentals of Economics by Robert Krauss, something like that. It was a very thick book. I started reading, then I read more, and then I started to gain excellence in that. Then I
Okay.
switched to some other subject. So why I'm telling you this is, I always had a technical bent and a scientific mindset. I was good in studies as well. So that that skill of grasping things was always there in me.
Yeah.
But that is not the only thing which is required. You have to be a reader also.
Yes,
So
sir.
this reading habit I started gaining during my tenure in Mahindra and Mahindra.
Okay.
Once I started doing that, then and once I started pursuing UPSC, then eventually I switched to NCRTs, started reading the basic books from 6 to 12. Then I started reading some more, started reading newspapers. Eventually it built up.
So, sir, during your starting days of preparation, was there any mentor for you or someone who was guiding you, or it was self preparation though?
Unfortunately, I did not have a mentor, and there were a lot of YouTube videos also, but like I never watched any of the toppers videos.
Okay.
I am making toppers videos now, but like I did not watch because it was like people giving different opinions. I did not like that much. But I started from very basic. I did some like researches on internet, read from
Yeah.
various websites, and then noting it down, and then
Okay.
referring that book which was mentioned in the most of the websites. So I
Yes. Yes.
started like that. I did not have a mentor. It was like it was self study. It
Self
was self
study and
study.
all. What was your preparation strategy for that, sir? So, how did you start with the which subjects and all you started with, and how was your day schedule divided into?
Right. It's a bit of tough question because there is no such fixed strategy. If you want
Okay.
to, like, everybody has a different strategy. When I was in job, I was not able to dedicate much because I used to return from office like at 8 p.m., 7:38, sometimes 9. Then I made it a point that I read at least 4 hours after office. So I used to read till 12 o'clock in the midnight or 1 o'clock. Then I used to sleep. Then again office. Then in the lunch hours, I used to read newspaper. Again work, come back home, and repeat like that. So it was becoming a sort of inconvenience. And since I was very much, eventually I became very much invested in UPSC. I started to think that no, I'm not able to do this with my job also. So that is the reason I had to leave,
Okay.
because you are, in most of the cases, you are not able to prepare with job, right?
Yes. Yes.
So once I left the job, so the whole day was mine. So
Okay.
I experimented with a lot of methods, but I would say like the method where you choose one subject only. So firstly, you have to divide your day in two parts.
Okay.
So one is for current affairs and one is for static portion.
Okay.
And so like current affairs, initially I used to read newspapers, then I stopped reading that also. The more you become mature, you are able to make better and better choices. So current affairs and static, current affairs newspaper and some good magazines like Vision IES or Insights IES. In static, I started preparing, like starting with NCERT, then the basic books, then the advanced books. I tried a lot of strategies, but the best strategy I would say is like never try to micromanage. A few people tend to do that. Okay, now I will read one hour of economy, 1 hour history, 1 hour polity, but that is not how it should be studied. So what should be done is like once you stick with a subject, right? Suppose you choose economics, then like study economics thoroughly, right? So you start with the standard books, basic books, standard books, advanced books, because our brain works very dramatically. So like over the time, if you give that natural culture of developing thoughts in a particular subject, then eventually after 2 or 3 days you start to connect dots, right?
Yes, sir.
But if you are jumping between subjects, right, then it is not that much effective. Divide it into two: static, current newspaper, magazine, and static, take a subject and get engrossed in it until and unless you have completed everything that is required in the syllabus. You have to read PYQs, you have to analyze them. PYQs are previous year questions.
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
And you have to analyze them, you have to answer them, then to check whether you are on that level or not. Then you have to take some test series initially. If you think that you have reached at that level, at a good level, then you switch to another subject.
Yes, sir.
So that is how I did it.
So what you exactly mean is you didn't go to any coaching center exactly?
Yeah, so I was a part of in 2018 I got selected in Jamia RCA, the Residential Coaching Academy, Jamia Millia Islamia.
Okay.
But that is more like that provides a good atmosphere because it is an all India competition. I was selected among 150 students. All over India that year.
Yes.
I did not take the classroom program. I was just in my room studying myself. So it is like self-study, no coaching.
Okay, sir. So, sir, one important question I want to ask. During your preparation, there may be lows and highs you may be going through. Some days you may feel to read, some days you may not feel to read. So, how did you keep it up?
Everybody very much intrigued with the services, right? Okay, everybody wants to become IAS, IPS. But one thing is very clear in UPSC, that once you start preparing, then you cannot work according to your feelings, what you feel and what you not. So whether you are feeling like it or not, you have to study. Yes. Initially it is tough, but sooner or later you get the hang of it and you start preparing. There can be some exemptions, like maybe like after reading for complete 1 week, like 6 days in a week. Yes. You may say that okay, Sunday will be my free day, I will be roaming with friends, going for movies, like that. But like when you are studying those 6 days,
yes, sir,
then you should be studying. There are no exemptions. You have to sideline everything. You have to delete your social media. You have to delete your interactions with your friends, your family. In fact, like in my house, the second floor I occupied completely, and nobody used to come on that floor. Nobody was there. Nobody came. My family took care of this, that nobody comes. Even my family did not come on the second floor. And the breakfast used to come at in the morning. I did not even go to the first floor where my family actually lives for breakfast. And even if for lunch and dinner, I just used to come for like 15 or 20 minutes, have lunch or have dinner, and then go back.
Yes.
So you have to be disciplined. Like if you are not disciplined, if you are like a slave of your moods, then this exam is not for you.
So it's your actually 6th attempt, sir. So you have seen already 5. I won't say it as a failure. It's your experiences. 5 times you have experienced UPSC. So how did you actually came up with one more step to crack again, sir, in the 6th attempt? So like usually what happens if we fail for an exam, so 3 to 4 times we may lose hope on it. So how did you manage this, sir?
Right. So yeah, it was a hell of a journey. And like the first 2 attempts are very casual. Like I did not even study. Like I remember my first attempt. So I used to live in Pune. The center was in Mumbai. I was so busy that I never got a chance to visit Mumbai. So my motivation was that let's go and roam Mumbai, and in the meanwhile we will get exam also. So that was my first attempt, and the second attempt was also similar. But in the third attempt, I had already left my job.
Okay.
And that was the first serious attempt, but I was not able to clear prelims. The fourth, fifth, and sixth attempt, I cleared prelims in like all these three.
Yes, sir.
And I wrote mains exam in all those three. In the fourth and fifth attempt, I was not able to crack mains, but in the sixth attempt, I was able to crack mains also and the interview also, and then finally got recommended by UPSC for services. It's very tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough to maintain the consistency. But this is one thing, like you have to have that end goal in mind. And one more thing I would say, like you have to be forward looking. You have to be forward looking. If you are not ready to get let go of the past, if you're not ready for that, if you are just like crying again and again so that I was not able to crack, then you won't be able to move forward. So okay, we become sad. Like I was also very sad, very aback when I was not able to clear in the earlier attempts. I used to be sad for 1 or 2 days, then I just targeted the next goal and just went about it. So the key is that there are two keys. So firstly, be forward looking. Surround yourself with good company and they will help you. And second key is that you have to be stubborn. You have to be stubborn. Like if you are not invested, if you are not committed to that level, then you won't be able to do it. So that is what I followed. I made daily targets. I did not bother about my emotional well-being for some time a lot. I was like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. I kept on reminding myself this thing every night, did whatever improvements were required, and so that I would come back somewhat better than the previous attempt. And eventually I was lucky enough to crack the exam.